Back at WNST, we got fake football in the middle of the week on Thursday night, and we are recapping a wonderful weekend where we took 4 busloads of Ravens fans out to the friendly heart of the Midwest, to Canton, Ohio, under what was just a beautiful sky in Ohio on a Saturday night as Ray Lewis took the TED Talk speech. Lots of speeches, lots of thoughts on the speeches. Dennis Koulatsos joins us now from West Baltimore at Coons Florida Security Boulevard, where, of course, they sponsor us, our text service, as well as the SSV on WNST, getting you ready for the Rams and the Ravens and some fake football. But between now and then, Dennis and I are going to recapture a night with Ray Lewis. Dennis, I'm sort of on the record as being underwhelmed by Ray's speech and the all of that went into it. I was a little underwhelmed with it, but very overwhelmed with Brian Dawkins. But I'm never underwhelmed with the event. And I thought Kramer was amazing. I thought Brazil was amazing. I go through. I thought the stuff with Andrew Kramer and Shereen Williams, who are my friends, was really a cool thing. All of it was made for a wonderful trip, a wonderful time. But I wonder what happens to Ray now that the speech is over. What's the next chapter for Ray Lewis? That's what I am compelled to discuss. But I do want to talk about the speech a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. I thought Ray Lewis's speech was a lot of rah-rah and not enough substance, whereas Kramer's speech I really enjoyed a lot. And Randy Moss really showed well. He spoke well. Really touched me, but Moss's and Dawkins' speeches both moved me to tears, Nestor. I'm telling you, I was bawling like a little kid after their stories and how heartfelt their speeches were. Particularly, I thought Dawkins, just like you, I thought Dawkins knocked it out of the park. He was just so genuine, so real, dripping with emotion, and you can just tell how heartfelt his speech was in particular.
All right, we'll get to Ray in a minute and the pieces of that and the weekend, but I don't know who that bust is. I don't know what cousin of Warren Moon or, Billy D. Williams. I don't know what it is. But it doesn't look like Ray Lewis.
No, it's not Ray. I don't know who it is, but it's not Ray Lewis. They could have done a much better job. I mean, Moss's bust was spot on. Everybody's bust looked like them, but Ray Lewis's bust did not look like Ray Lewis.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a vibe on what his statue looks like, and I've gone and looked at the picture, and because you don't really see the face so much, the face is sort of up toward the sky with him back, you don't look at the face of it. You see the 52, you know the dance, you know what it represents. I don't think anybody's ever looked at the face of the Ray Lewis statue and said that doesn't look like him. When the whole thing is the face, which is what a bust is, we're all examining it. And even Luke said late into the night he started staring at it, and he started to see Ray Lewis. Then he woke up the next day and looked, and it didn't look like Ray Lewis again. And I don't know if I'm ever going to look at it and think it looks like Ray Lewis. When he pulled he and his daughter pulled the little veil off of it, I was mortified. I mean, I was instant Oh my God, whose statue? Did they bring Warren Moon out?
Yeah, if you look at it from different angles, it does resemble Ray, but when you look at it head on, I mean, it does not look like the man, which, was a big, big miss. And social media, Twitter in particular, really got all over it and stayed on it. That was like a really big trending story, right after he unveiled the bust, which was it was comical and a Greek tragedy kind of comical because you don't want that to be the focal point from a Hall of Fame speech, from a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It shouldn't be our biggest takeaway, but with social media and the way things are these days, that's what it was.
Where do you grade the speech, and what was missing for you with Ray? Because, he is a speaker. He is someone that unites people. I guess Luke had mentioned it was missing fire. It was missing music. It was missing all of that. And I really felt like it wasn't much different than the speech he gives to the local club when he goes out and does his corporate this or that. And I felt like Jerry Kramer gives the same speech too, except that it was all about Lombardi and teamwork and leadership. I felt like Ray just sort of rambled and did a wing it, and I didn't expect him to wing it. I really thought Ray would come with some level of preparation that would make it a speech that I would never forget. I really was expecting... And maybe that's just on me. Maybe I expected him to do something that I, quite frankly, haven't seen him ever do much lately, which is give that kind of a speech. I thought the thing at the locker years ago when he said, go out and make someone smile, let's go out and put a smile. I think the love message was great, but maybe I built too much up. Maybe the Led Zeppelin reunion, when you actually go to it, it's not as good as you think it's going to be. But I thought for one night, one speech when he had the world's attention, I thought Ray could have done better. Ray was capable of better. How about that?
Well, I think part of the challenge there, Nestor, is we've seen Ray's just a speaker. He's a talker. He's the anti-Randy Moss. When you contrast him to Randy Moss, was always surly and mean to the media, didn't have much to say, right? He comes out, he's prepared, he's well-spoken. We got more from Randy Moss than we expected, whereas with Ray, we've seen him with the rah-rah speeches. We've seen him bring religion and politics and everything else and what have you into his speeches. So to me, it was more of the same. The sad thing is, as you said, he's had time to prepare for this thing, and he should have had content. He should have had an index card. And when he came out with the wireless mic, we knew that we were going to be more of the same versus something different, at least in my opinion. But
I think keeping him still at a podium with notes would have made for a better speech for him. I think I can see him go out and run around and do all the two hands and all the rah-rah. That wasn't really what I was looking for. I mean, I really was looking here today to be talking about some things he said and talked about that you and I would be talking about on the back end, the way we're talking about Brian Dawkins' admission about his depression, the way we're talking about the teamwork, the things that moved you to tears, right? Like, I expected Ray to make my heart swell and fill and work on my emotions and work on my Ravendom and work on my mother, how much she loved him. And I don't know, man. I didn't. Maybe I've just seen it too much. We got nothing new out of his speech, and whereas with Dawkins, we got something new, right? We get a new level of respect for the man. The stuff that he's been through, the trials, the tribulation, the depression. He spoke from his heart. That's what we didn't get from Ray Lewis. We didn't get anything new. We got same old. I mean, his relationship with Michael Phelps, great, but I mean, that's nothing. His brother, that's nothing new, right? How much he loved Bisciotti and Art Modell, that's nothing new. Give us some insight. Give us something else we can talk about today versus how the bus was a big miss. I mean, if that's the biggest story that we got out of Ray Lewis's Hall of Fame speech, Nestor, then, he went there for naught, right? He could have just had his jacket mailed to him just like T.O. did. I'm being facetious, of course, but I wanted more like you. I wanted more meat, more substance versus rah-rah. He could have came out with J.O. or finished with J.O. With the rah-rah stuff, but he certainly had 33 minutes. He could have used. He had a lot of time to do a lot of stuff, right? But I'm like you, notes on the podium, hit the main points, give us the fans something that we didn't know, some things we didn't know, what makes the man tick, and then that would have been a Hall of Fame speech. So to me, it was probably the fifth or sixth best speech of that class. And that's what we remember him by. Dennis Koulatsos joins us here. Yeah, I agree with you. I expected him to go for he had gold medal potential, and to me didn't medal.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't medal. I mean, literally, and that to me that's because he's never going to have that kind of attention again. And Dennis Koulatsos joining us here from Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Of course, he'll be here on Thursday, pre-gaming up for Fake Football. I haven't talked a lot about Lamar Jackson and running around in the second half or even RG3. Again, I don't take these games so seriously. I don't think you do either, but you're looking at individual players and guys that might make the team and Orlando Brown Jr.'s and, the flash that we saw from Kamalei Correa last week in a different position. But Lamar Jackson, and this is the first time I'm going to say this publicly because Luke and I haven't even talked about it. I don't like my quarterback running around with the football. I've just come to that grand conclusion. The minute he came into the game and he's taking hits and the size he is, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm going to continue I don't like it. And I don't know at what point I'm going to like it.
But that's how he plays, Nestor. That's how RG3 plays. That's how Deshaun Watson plays. These mercurial quarterbacks. That's
why Deshaun Watson wasn't playing.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what makes them great in college. Works to their detriment in the pros. It's a different game. It's a faster game. It's a more violent game. It just doesn't translate. They're better off keeping this kid in the pocket, but his instincts, once he gets out there, particularly outside of the pocket instead of going down, I mean, he wants to go for another 4 or 5 yards. Every time he and RG3 took off with the ball, I think we all held our breath. We want to see these guys hold up for 4 more preseason games. That way we see what we have. And with Lamar Jackson, it was about what we've been seeing in practice. That's what we saw during the game. Some inconsistency, some flashes of brilliance. We saw the touchdown, we saw the interception, and for a rookie, I thought he was poised. I thought he handled himself very, very well for his first NFL game. Just wish he would have went down and slid 3 or 4 times versus taking off with the ball downfield.
Well, we're certainly going to see more of that on Thursday night, and I think there is a little extra energy to come out and see this kid play. I know there was on my bus. He'll be playing some on Thursday night, as will Joe Flacco. This is a good little measurement. I feel like we've had 2 weeks of fake football and the thing with Thursday night and the Ray Lewis thing. And I think the organization emotionally was trying to get there with this early game and how to ramp up. And the really good news, and I'll continue to knock on wood right here on my skull, injuries, it's been quiet. And let's keep it that way, especially for 2 weeks into this thing. So this is the week it sort of gets really cranked up, I think.
Yeah, the Rams are going to be a very good test for the Ravens, a very physical team. I expect even our second and third stringers to be physical. So it'll be a great test for the Ravens offense in particular, just to see what they can do against that Rams, the front seven in particular. But glad to see that Joe Flacco is going to take some reps, and by all accounts, he's had a very good camp. He's very healthy. He's sleek. He's sharp. He's on top of things, and the receivers, to a man, they're all raving about Joe Flacco. He's putting the ball right there in the right spots, and be good to see some. Look, just glad that football is back in Baltimore, right? Versus the Orioles, which have been just a catastrophe this season, and now you really need a lineup just to see who these guys are, right?
You know, I had a little heart-to-heart with Joe Flacco after the game on Thursday night. I sought him out just to catch up, see how he's doing, because I know how good he's looked at on practice and all that. And you know what the conversation came to after the game? Sometimes we talk baseball, sometimes we talk hockey, life, whatever. And I said, you know, what's making you tick these days? You know, I asked that question about a lot of people. What's got you happy these days? Tell me a happy story. He said, you know what, man? I got a daughter now. And I'm so glad I got a daughter because I just never would have known. So there you go. And I know how much you love your daughter. I don't have a daughter. Yeah. But he went on and on about the love of his daughter. So nice. So what do you think of that?
Yeah, you know what?
Changes a man, right?
Daughters will change you. You know, your boys, you got your soldiers, your Sprite, the Vim and the Vigor with your daughters. Though they wrap your heart around the little finger, and it just makes you look at things differently. You know, I'm sure he enjoys having her in his lap and playing with her. It'll make him a better man, and I think he is a good man, and I'm very happy for him, and I hope he has a great season. Clearly, he's going to be the best quarterback on this roster, and clearly he's going to give the Ravens their best chance to win. I think, Lamar Jackson, a year or two down the road maybe, but very raw prospect, and he flashes, but he has a lot of work to do, particularly with throwing the ball outside of the numbers, which I think is one of his weaknesses.
Happy, healthy, upright, and playing on Thursday for a little while. Rams in town. They're chasing the Ravens around. Luke's out on the backfields. Luke and I will be joining Dennis on Thursday between 3 and 5 on the SSV on WNST. That's the Sunday Sports Voice. Heard from 3 until 5 as our pregame for Thursday night's fake football. Dennis, tell them what's going on out at Coons Ford Security Boulevard.
Just a big sale this month in August. Nestor got 0% on Focus, Fusion, 2.9% on Mustang, Escape 0%, Edge, Explorer, EcoSport, F-150 0 for 60%, plus $3,000 back. I mean, we're giving these things away, taking 10 to 12 grand off the sticker of F-150s, selling 60 to 70 of those a month. And
wow.
Never a better time to buy a new Ford or a pre-loved vehicle from Coons Ford of Baltimore than right now.
I love pre-loved. We're going to pre-love you on the pre-game pre-love show on Thursday between 3 and 5. Dan, have a great week, man. Towel off from that Ray Lewis speech. We got to get ready for some more fake football here.
You got it, man. Looking forward to talking to you.
Dennis Koulatsos of Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Follow him out on Twitter at SSV on WNST. I am Nestor. I am on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.